Donald Trump has now responded to a couple of things. First, the reporting and the audio of Trump's longest-serving former chief of staff, General John Kelly, who, of course, talked about Trump's praise of Hitler and him wanting to have generals like Hitler had. And so I'll show you that. And then he also was upset with Vice President Harris correctly describing him as a fascist. And I'll show you that and many other things in this segment. While we're going through it, please remember to click the subscribe button as we're trying to do something crazy, pull off a miracle. And with the next week and a half-ish, get to 1 million subscribers by the election. Thank you so much to the 913,000 people who've already subscribed. You're amazing.
The Atlantic is reporting that you said that you wanted the kind of generals that Hitler had. Is that something that you've ever said?
No, I never said that. I would never say that. It's a rag that he made up stories. He's done it before. It's a failing magazine. Right before the election, it's just a failing magazine.
I love when people cite the timing of John Kelly reiterating things he's already said as proof that it must be politically motivated, when he's saying, in a sense, it is politically motivated because he's trying to warn you, don't, through our political democratic system, put this guy in the most important position of power. I didn't think I'd have to repeat myself. This guy loves dictators and he's a fascist. And John Kelly's not saying that as some liberal commentator. He's saying that as Trump's former chief of staff, a former general. He's saying, I've been in the room with this guy. I've been in the Situation Room. I've been in the Oval Office, just like Trump's former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, just like Trump's former defense secretaries, former national security advisors. They're all telling you this guy's not fit to serve. So yes, we're going to scream it louder right before the election because we're realizing, oh my gosh, America, you're considering putting this guy back in. Don't do that, please. So the timing makes sense, makes total sense. Then Trump was upset, like I told you, that at the CNN town hall, Vice President Kamala Harris got asked about John Kelly's statement. She says, I agree.
Also told us he did watch some of VP Kamala Harris's town hall last night, and he reacted to Kamala Harris calling him a fascist during that town hall. Take a listen.
But I've never seen anybody so inept at speaking. I mean, I thought her performance was horrible. I've never seen anything like it for a high-level politician. I can't even believe it. But she did call me a fascist, and everyone knows that's not true. They call me everything until, something sticks.
She said during that town hall she believes they've handled the border correctly. CNN pressed her on it. Would you have done anything different? Do you regret anything? And she said, quote, I think we did the right thing.
Now, wait a minute. That she's handled it correctly?
Correct.
She said that?
She said that. She said, quote, I think we did the right thing.
We allowed 21 million people in. We allowed
false
13,099 murderers. We allowed mental
false
institutions from all over the world. If she said
false
that, look, she's a grossly incompetent person. And if she said that, they had the worst border in history.
False. So this is the Fox News playbook. Trump's own people. Wake up, Fox News. Trump's own people are saying he is dangerous. And you go, well, what about the border? Do you not see? Do you not see how absurd that is? Policy is important. Legislation is important that presidents can sign into law. Executive orders, they have the power to sign. Important. Nothing's as important, though, as the foundation of all of it. We decide on all the issues y'all fearmonger about through our democracy. And it's people who serve with him saying, stop. He doesn't respect that. We can't put him there. And add to the list, not just people who are now speaking out against his election, but people who spoke out against in private Trump, but then are cowards.
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell has some harsh words for his party under Donald Trump. In an upcoming biography by the Associated Press's Michael Tackett, McConnell says the, quote, MAGA movement is completely wrong. I want to bring in CNN's chief congressional correspondent and host of Inside Politics Sunday, Manu Raju. These are really strong comments from McConnell.
Yeah, and a lot of this was reserved in the aftermath of January 6, 2021. Remember how Trump and McConnell, they really worked closely together through the duration of Donald Trump's time in office. If it weren't for McConnell, Donald Trump would not have been able to dramatically reshape the Supreme Court. Of course, McConnell kept that Supreme Court seat vacant under Barack Obama for more than a year. Donald Trump got 3 Supreme Court seats. McConnell also helped usher through a major tax cut law. But in the aftermath of January 6, McConnell, his views completely changed. And he talked about the impeachment trial, the second impeachment trial. Donald Trump, of course, was acquitted. Mitch McConnell voted to acquit Donald Trump, but he leveled some scathing criticism, not just on the Senate floor, but also to Michael Tackett of the Associated Press. He said, I'm not at all conflicted about whether what the president did is an impeachable offense. He said, I think it is. Urging an insurrection and people attacking the Capitol as a direct result is about as close to an impeachable offense as you can imagine, with the possible exception of maybe being an agent for another country. Remember, he justified his decision to acquit at the time.
Yeah, because Trump's going to be gone from office or whatever. The legal system needs to hold him accountable. But he said all sorts of things like Trump's a sleazeball narcissist, and they are saying nothing except maybe being an agent of a foreign country is as impeachable as what Trump did. But then he voted to acquit him because he's probably going to be gone by the time conviction would happen. How do you justify this? It must be painful to be the Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzingers of the world and to see your party fall. That's one thing. But at least they know when they go to bed at night and when their kids and their grandkids learn about what they did, that they stood on principle when it came down to the fundamentals. But someone like Mitch McConnell, just gross cowardice. Gross, disgusting cowardice. You do have another Republican speaking out. Again, do you know how I went on the Piers Morgan panel and Dave Rubin was talking about how it's just so cool, the movement that has been put together of Democrats or Republicans alike that support Trump. You got Tulsi Gabbard. You got Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Elon Musk. I mean, how could you get a better united movement? That shows that people across the political spectrum love Trump. But then they don't address that Trump's own administration officials, a bunch of his top cabinet officials, as I've been listing, have endorsed Harris. They don't address how now an 18-term GOP congressman from Michigan is endorsing Harris. Former Representative Fred Upton, who served 18 terms in Congress before retiring last year, is endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris and saying, watching Trump day after day, he's ignored the advice of many senior respected Republicans to stay on the issues. Instead, he's talking about the election being stolen, trashing women left and right. He's just totally unhinged. We don't need this chaos. We need to move forward. And that's why I'm where I am. When a congresswoman, a former congresswoman, who was always a little fishy with the type of Democrat she was, always a little grifty, a little Fox Newsy, Tulsi Gabbard goes, and I'm now bravely registering as a Republican. All of MAGA media goes, oh God, it's so amazing. This is proof that Trump is such a uniter. When hundreds of Republicans from former Republican administrations come out to endorse Harris, when Trump's own top officials, military leaders come out to endorse Harris, it's Trump derangement syndrome much. And a little bonus clip. Trump called into a J.D. Vance town hall. Yes, Trump called into a J.D. Vance town hall to ask the hard-hitting question, how brilliant am I?
Right now from former President Donald John Trump. He wants to weigh in. Mr. President, I know there's a little bit of a delay. Can you hear us? And what is your question for the senator?
Well, I can hear you, Chris, and I do have a question, and I think it'll be quite an interesting one. The answer should be easy. How brilliant is Donald J. Trump?
Take your time. Think about it.
Well, first of all, sir, this is supposed to be undecided voters. I would hope that I have your vote, of all people. But here's first of all, sir, of course, you're very brilliant, and we both agree.
What? Imagine what Fox News would do if Tim Walz called in and went, wait, sorry, flip it around. If Tim Walz was doing a town hall and if Kamala Harris called in and went, hi, Tim, how brilliant am I? They would, you would just go, you would feel no matter where you are in the country, what the heck just happened? And you would look on the news and there would just be an implosion at Fox News. Just, there'd be sort of they just evaporate into dust like Thanos or something did with the snapping. Was it snapping? It was snapping, right? It's been a while since I watched that movie. They'd be so upset their rage would consume them. And then if Tim Walz's response was, I think you're really brilliant, Madam Vice President, it'd be even worse. Okay. Woo, I'm sorry to end this segment on that. That's brutal. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Support the show. Get the bonus show by clicking the join button below.